Hey everyone, Pastor Wes here with you on Wednesday night. Hope you're doing well. For the last few weeks, we've been looking at Ephesians chapter 1, verse 4, where it says, according as he hath chosen us in him before the foundation of the world, that we should be holy and without blame before him in love. The end of Ephesians verse 4 here in chapter 1 brings us to what I believe is the capstone of this verse, where he says these two words, in love. And I must tell you that there's great disagreement among most of the biblical scholars and commentators about whether those two words in love should be linked to verse 4 or the beginning of verse 5. Should it be linked to being holy and without blame before him in love, or having predestinated us? And the controversy poses the question, are we holy and blameless before him in love, or are we predestinated in love, or predestined in love? And in my view, the exact answer, I believe, is going to be known when we stand face to face with Jesus, when we see the Apostle Paul in heaven. In the meantime, I don't see anything scripturally wrong whatsoever with enjoying God's love in both of these verses. Stop arguing about which one it belongs to and just link them together and put it to both of them. Without a doubt, the understanding that we have been chosen as God's treasure and for his purpose, that we are holy and set apart for his exclusive use, that we're found blameless in Christ Jesus, and that we are always in his presence, leads us to the experience of his incredible love. And certainly without the experience of his grace, his life-transforming, unconditional love, it would be impossible for us to be able to manifest a holy, blameless walk of love toward other people. There's not one believer out there that can live out Ephesians 1:4 in his or her own strength or his or her own ability or desires. It's just not possible. And so we must go back to the word according at the beginning of this verse to find the key to releasing that power of being holy and blameless before him. And that word according is translated from a Greek word that means even as, in conformity with the fact. And I like to say that being in Christ places us in the same dimension as Jesus, conforming us into his image, declaring us holy without blame before God. In English, the word according is more likened to a musical term, a chord, a harmonious blending of voices. And so if you approach it from that standpoint, our destiny is to be in harmony or to be harmonious with what God has chosen for us. We must align ourselves. You've got to get in tune with what God has planned for us to be and what God has planned for us to do. In music, any note that is dissonant or out of harmony, and in this case, in God's plan, its purpose, it's going to rattle the nerves. It's going to cause distress to the body if it's not in harmony. It's going to create noise. It's not going to be a pleasant sound. It's going to disrupt. It's going to interfere. It's going to be something that's counterproductive to what God has planned for us, but not just for us, for those whose lives that we touch. And so our job is to recognize what God has planned for us and what is counter to his purposes, and then to choose only the things that are in harmony with God's plan for your life. If you've ever sung harmony with another person, you know that the other person hits the first note and then you hit a note that sounds good with their note. And so harmony only exists because there is a melody there first. And in our lives, God is the lead singer. God is the one who sings the melody. He sets the tone. Our role is to harmonize with him. And so to harmonize with God means that we have to match his rhythm. We have to match his tempo. We have to yield to him and say, yes, I'll be your holy vessel, completely, totally submitted to whatever it is that you desire to do in and through me. It's not about Jesus being your co-pilot. It's about him being the pilot. It's about God being in control and leading and guiding you through this life, and you coming in the harmony, with the harmony and matching the melody that he has created. And so what we're describing here is nothing more than really just the act of being before him in love. And it's interesting, the Apostle Paul uses this musical analogy to describe love in another verse in 1 Corinthians chapter 13. In the first 3 verses of chapter 13, he said, though I speak with the tongues of men and angels and have not charity or love, I am become as a sounding brass or a tinkling cymbal. And though I have the gift of prophecy and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and though I have faith so that I could remove mountains and have not love, I am nothing. And though I bestow all my goods to feed the poor, and though I give my body to be burned, and have not charity, love, it profiteth me nothing. Our destiny can only be discovered and really lived out when we walk in harmony with God, according to God, in the same dimension as the powerful understanding that He has chosen us from eternity past. And so we are His precious vessels of honor, and in Christ we are pure, we are without blemish, and we're always conscious of His presence in our lives. And in the knowledge of these truths, we will sing in tune with His song of love toward us and through us to reach the world. Stay in harmony with what God has. Match His melody with your harmony. Till next week, I hope you have a great rest of your week. I love you. God bless you. We'll see you then.